guys, it's Tina with my homesteading project, and I just wanted to show you what I'm up to today. It's a beautiful day today, as you can see. Beautiful sunny shiny day. We've had rain for the last couple days, and so I haven't gotten a lot done outside. So I wanted to show you, now that we're going to have a couple nice days, I need to get a bunch of projects done. So first thing I'm going to do is, since we moved Logan to his own area, he does not have a feeder over there. We've just been using a plastic bin to put his hay in, and of course he knocks it over and strings it all over the place and wastes it terribly. So I've got to get a feeder set up for him. So I decided to go ahead and use one of these 55-gallon barrels that I have. And so the first thing that I'm doing, what I'm going to do is cut off the top, cut that in half, and maybe put a lid on the top. I don't know if I will. I probably won't. But I'm going to cut off the top, and then I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to wire it to the outside of his cage so he can eat through the cattle panel into the thing, into the barrel, and put his hay in the barrel. So the first thing we're doing is I went ahead and made a line. Now, it would be really nice to cut here in this groove where the top comes down to, but I'm afraid that with the jigsaw my blade might keep hitting that. So what I did was I just took this narrow square and just held it around the edge and marked with a pencil where I want to cut. And the nice thing is, if you cut the top off like this barrel is narrower than obviously this lip, and you can flip this top lid upside down and make a lid for this. If instead of buying the more expensive barrels that have the little spring thing that holds the lid on, you can actually flip this upside down and make a lid and just put a hinge on it, and then you have a hinged lid. So I'm going to go ahead and get the jigsaw and cut that top off, and then we'll go from there. So I'll be right back. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you real quick is, since I am using a jigsaw, you're going to have to drill a starter hole, which I did right here if you can see it, a starter hole to get your saw blade in there to cut around. And all I did was I took my drill bit sizer and sized it up to the size of my blade, got my drill and the proper bit, and just drilled a hole. Now, if you want to use like a Sawzall, which has a longer blade, you can go ahead and just hold the Sawzall up horizontal to it and get yourself started, and then get the blade in there because it has a little bit longer blade. But since I'm using the jigsaw, you do need a starter hole to get going with your saw. So I just wanted to show you that real quick. That was something that I didn't think about. I got the saw, came over here and went, oh yeah, I have to start a hole. So anyway, we're going to cut it off and then we'll go from there. Okay, so we cut the lid off. That was a little bit of a chore. I don't know if you can see real well. Here, let me block the sun a little bit. Here, where the seams are, which is of course where I decided to start, which was not real smart. I would start in the middle between two seams. It's much thicker. I'd say it's probably, 3/4 of an inch. Here where the seams are, it's much thicker on the barrel at the top. I mean, it gets thinner as you go down, but you can see it kind of angles here. But it's very thick right here. So that takes a little bit more work to cut that through. But I wanted to show you, once you get the top off, see, and that's how it is sitting on the top. If you flip it over like that, you can push down on it, and it makes a good lid if you get it on there. So it kind of acts as a lid if you flip it over because of this big lip. So then you would have a lid if you needed it. So I'm going to go ahead, and the next thing I'm going to do, get that out of the way. Next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and cut down the seams. And yes, that is the thickest part of the barrel, but that'll give me, when I drill some holes to attach it to the fence, that'll give me a good thick, it'll give me a little bit thicker spot on the barrel to drill those holes. So now we're going to cut the barrel in half at the seam all the way around. So I'll show you that when I get that done. Okay, so now we have the barrels cut in half. So I'm going to rinse them out and scrub them down real good, because this used to have sweetener in it from a beef jerky place. And so then I will go ahead and drill some holes down along the side and the bottom to attach it to the fence, and then we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Okay, so we've scrubbed them up, and I've got them standing out here in the sun to dry for just a few minutes, and then we'll go ahead and drill some holes and install them. Okay, so here is the finished product. I went ahead and put it up. I drilled holes along the sides, on both sides and across the bottom, and as you can see, I just attached it with zip ties. I may eventually come through and do it with wire, but zip ties were quicker. And if you notice, I just happened to have a piece of fencing that was just wide enough left over to I put it on the outside of his cage. So that way it keeps him from reaching in and grabbing big, huge mouthfuls of hay and pulling it out and wasting a lot. So this gives it smaller openings like I have. My other feeders are made from this fencing so that they can't waste quite as much hay. So there it is. It's all zip tied up, and I wanted to show it to you before I filled it. So there it is, and I just attach it to the cantle panel. So new feeder for Logan. Yay! So if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. And thank you so much for watching. And remember, as always, God is good. You guys have a great afternoon.